Hey, my lovely people, I need to make this video. By the way, that is still my favorite book on on Giza. This guy, amazing. And second most amazing, Dr. Koss. Thank you so much. Anyway. This is some of the proof that the casing stones were not placed in the Old Kingdom. That's right. In this video, circumstantial, lots of evidence, tons of evidence. And everyone has said, oh, the ancient authors said the pyramids were built in the New Kingdom because they were stupid, because they talked to the wrong people. They talked to the wrong priests. They were in ancient Egypt, and they were told that the Great Pyramids were built in the New Kingdom, the Giza pyramids. What the hell is going on? Were they? No, but I think a lot of Giza was. And that's not what the archaeologists are saying, because they're choosing to ignore. This is the Medum pyramid. The buttresses inside are okay, but the casings have collapsed as if it was a Middle or New Kingdom pyramid. Just as if it was a Middle Kingdom pyramid. In other words, not built that well. Yet this is supposedly Old Kingdom. That alone is circumstantial evidence something is going on. Apparently, lots of infill and rubble as well. Apparently, the casing stones, some of them were built on this pyramid over sand, whereas the pyramid was built over bedrock. In other words, two different builders. One's Old Kingdom, one's New Kingdom, possibly. We're going to get into that in this video. And no one is saying this, only Dr. Koss. Let's get into it. So, we'll summarize Herodotus, then we'll read Herodotus, we'll read Diodorus, and we'll try and explain what's going on. And we'll try and make sense of what they're saying, especially with regards to Herodotus' machine for building the pyramids. We can actually explain what the hell he's talking. I now know what he's talking about. I didn't know before. Now I know what the hell he's talking about. It doesn't seem to make sense, but now it does. Look, Herodotus visiting Egypt 450 BC described the pyramids' builders and the labour force. But he's talking about putting the casing stones on or restoring Giza in the New Kingdom. And it says here, just stop. There we go. His timeline was off by a millennia, placing them in his own time, the Bronze Age, not 2500 BC. So, according to archaeologists, archaeologists have a sort of tunnel vision. I've often looked at Cologne Cathedral. It took 800 years to build. But Giza, it's all built at once and then abandoned forever. But they know and they suspect that a priesthood was operating there for thousands of years afterwards. In other words, they kept the priesthood there, but they never did any work on the structure. That doesn't make any sense at all. Of course, they would have rebuilt and renovated. But it just proves to me archaeologists don't really live in the real world. They think that something once built lasts forever and no one ever touches it. And Herodotus echoes the same thing. Now, he got the name right, but he got the date wrong. How could this possibly be? He detailed the use of wooden machines to lift massive stones, building the pyramid in steps from the top down. He's not talking about the pyramid, he's talking about building the casing stones onto the pyramid. So you start at the top and then you work your way down. That makes perfect sense. And the immense effort involved in creating a causeway and underground chambers. A staggering force of 100,000 labourers. He could be talking about putting the casing stones on in the New Kingdom. He described them as Bronze Age, 12th century BC. Why did he get the date wrong? He's looking at the New Kingdom. He misunderstood. He didn't misunderstand. He's talking about an improvement on the pyramids, because we know in pyramid cultures you add layers upon layers upon layers to rebuild the pyramid. They did that in Mexico. One layer on top of another. And they stripped all the layers off the Pyramid of the Sun to try and get to what they thought was the original pyramid, the proper pyramid. Let's go. So first let's look at what Herodotus says. So he says Rampsinitus reigned. And then after Ramses, he actually says something interesting. So we know Ramses is 1300 BC. He says after Ramses lived Khufu. And this is amazing. Cheops, who was the next king... Hang on. But Cheops, who was the next king, brought the people to utter misery. For he shut all the temples so that none could sacrifice there. Next he compelled all the Egyptians to work for him, appointing some to drag stones from the quarries in the Arabian mountains. And so he talks about one Ramsinitus of Egypt, one. You can see why he's confused. Do you know how many different Ramses there were? There were 11 Ramses. 11. So he's taking the Old Kingdom Khufu and he's mixing it up with one of the Ramses renovations. And so he says Khufu, Cheops, who was the next king, brought the people to utter misery, for he shut up all the temples so that none could sacrifice there, and then he compelled all the Egyptians to work for him, appointing some to drag stones from the quarries in the Arabian mountains to the Nile, and the stones being carried across the river in boats. Others were charged to receive them and drag them to the mountains called Libyan. They worked in gangs of 100,000 men, each gang going for 3 months. For 10 years the people were afflicted in making the road whereon the stones were dragged, and making of which road was to my thinking a task but a little lighter than the building of the pyramid. For the road is 5 furlongs long. It's not just the archaeologists with tunnel vision. Herodotus also has tunnel vision, and he can't fathom that the pyramid might have been absolutely renovated and overhauled. So he just places the whole building in one new kingdom possible renovation time. Let's go on. 10 years making the road, the underground chambers on the hill, burial places for himself in the underground chambers, a channel from the Nile, 20 years in the making. That could have been the casing stones alone. Its base was square, each side 800 feet long. He's mixing up Old Kingdom and possibly New Kingdom. And he's talking about levers, wooden levers, short wooden logs to raise the rest of the stones. They heaved up the blocks from the ground to the first tier of steps. So hang on a second. The steps are already there. The pyramid's already there. When the stone had been raised so it was set on another lever, that stood on the first tier. And the lever again drew it up from this tier to the next. It may be that there was a new lever on each tier of the steps, or possibly there was but one lever and that easily lifted, which they carried up to each tier in turn. When they had taken out the stone, I leave this uncertain, both ways being told me, but this is certain that the upper part of the pyramid was the first finished off, the next below it. And what's he saying? He's actually saying that the steps are already there, and this machine is being used to start putting the casing stones on, starting at the top, because obviously you can't do it the other way around, and then going downwards. He's talking about a renovation of the pyramid just to put the casing stones on. And he's mistakenly saying this is the building of the pyramid, and so he's confused all of us. Pyramid was put, the casing stones were put on in the New Kingdom. Why am I saying that? Because they had writing on them. 10,000 pages of writing on the pyramids. And megalithic builders didn't put writing on anything. This is a later thing. That's why. There are writings on the pyramid showing how much was spent on purges and onions and garlic for the workmen. 1,600 talents of silver had been paid. Now, if that is so, how much needs must have been expended on the iron with which they worked? Well, hang on a sec. 1200 BC is definitely the beginnings of the Iron Age, whereas in Khufu period, it's not really the iron. They don't really have iron. Oh, so it's another one of Herodotus' lies, but it's not a lie. It's just he's talking about a renovation. And so this evil man, Cheops, and then he's lying about his daughter being a prostitute. He's not, because prostitution, sacred prostitution, was part of the Babylonian pyramid religion. He's not lying. He's a bit scatterbrained, but he's not lying. And so she helped to build the pyramid. Yeah. Fascinating. Let's move on. For 160 years, Egypt was in Great Pyramid and the temples never opened. That's partly why I think Great Dynasty 4 was invaders. They shut all the Egyptian temples. They didn't respect the existing gods because they were not their gods. They don't even wish to name these kings. Amazing. Right. Okay. So there we go. Herodotus machine is for the casing stones alone. So now we have, I believe we have here Diodorus. So I'll get to it. So Diodorus thinks there's only one Ramses. He calls him Ramses. But there were 11 of them. So there's plenty of time in the New Kingdom after Ramses, more Ramses, to renovate the Great Pyramid. He calls the 8th king Chemis of Memphis after Ramses, ruled 50 years and constructed the largest of the 3 pyramids, which are numbered among the 7 wonders of the world. These pyramids, which are situated on the side of Egypt, which is towards Libya, are 120 stays from Memphis and 45 from the Nile. And by the immensity of their structures and the skill shown in their execution, they fill the beholder with wonder and astonishment. For the largest is in the form of a square, has a base length on each side of 7 plethra and a height over 6 plethra. It also gradually tapers to the top, where each side is 6 cubits long, the entire construction. Now, we've read a lot of this in another video about Diodorus. You might like to consider that, in which he actually talks about the other story of the pyramids having been built in pre-dynastic times by a different set of rulers. And he even dates it as 3400 BC, according to the ancient Egyptians. And he says much the same, as he confirms a lot of what Diodorus says in placing him in this time. He says the structure was completed in 20 years. Now, we have 2 stories. One that Khufu built everything, or actually Saurid built everything in 60 years, and another that it was all built in 20 years, Herodotus and Diodorus. In other words, one could be the date of the building of the internal structure, the 60 years, and another could be the date of the placement of the casing stones in the New Kingdom, 20 years. See? Absolutely fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It gets worse. It gets worse. Again, the Medan Pyramid is some kind of proof that the Old Kingdom rulers didn't build the Great Pyramid because see, I even suggested, did Khufu, etc., come along and pave all the pyramids? But this may have been done even later on in the New Kingdom. Okay, so, well, did New Kingdom use casing stones? You're going to say, well, they didn't. Well, yeah, they did. New Kingdom temples and earlier later ones generally featured or were intended to have fine stone casing, though they are rarely seen today. While the main core of these temples was often constructed from locally sourced lower quality sandstone or limestone, the outer surfaces, pylon walls and inner chambers were typically clad in high quality polished limestone or granite to provide a smooth. Does that sound familiar? That's the casing stones of Giza. And it's in the New Kingdom. Materials similar to the pyramids. What a coincidence! These temples were often cased in fine white limestone from Tura or red granite from Aswan. Like the Menkaure. They're using the same materials as on the Great Pyramid in the New Kingdom, which was then adorned with painted carved hieroglyphs and relief scenes. The casing served as a protective layer against the elements and a canvas for detailed, vibrant, artistic decorations. Due to thousands of years of erosion, earthquakes, and most notably the reuse of these high-quality stones for later building projects, most of the original polished outer casings have been removed. Despite the widespread removal, some in situ examples, unfinished casings, or remnants of fine stone veneer can be observed on certain temple structures, particularly in the lower courses or in protected areas of the pylons. New Kingdom temples have placed casing stones. They have the casing stone technology in the New Kingdom. I rest my case. You can't argue with that. Leave what you think in the comments. And part of the reason is from the reading by al-Baghdadi. The pyramids are too perfect. That everything looks new. The Sphinx looks freshly painted. I'm thinking a lot of this renovation work was done much more recently than Khufu's era. So I'm wondering now, what exactly, if the pyramids are period dynastic, what precisely did Khufu even do? Who knows? I'm seeing a pre-dynastic origin and later a New Kingdom origin for the casing stones. This is a new hypothesis to make sense of what ancient people were so sure about. Herodotus was sure about what he was saying. Diodorus was sure. These were not idiots. These are precise historians from the ancient times, backing up what they're saying with information from their own libraries, talking to multiple people, and living in that era. Comments below.